Well, good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together with a full face makeup tutorial, and we're going to memorize a Bible verse. In this case, it's going to be kind of a little set of the verses. So my name is Wendy. And today we are going to together be trying some blues, purples, oranges, yellows, a little bit of shimmer, and yes, all of that on one set of eyes. It's going to be fun. So remember that in the chat of whatever platform you are on, you can ask that question live, and I will do my best to get that question asked and answered while we are all hanging out here together. So while we're watching our intro video, go ahead and give me a shout out. Let me know where you are coming from. I would love to celebrate your area of the world with you today. So what is our theme today? Today, our theme is going to be, can the Juvia's Place culture palette brighten these hooded eyes that are over 40? Let's see if we can do it. So go ahead and grab your palettes, grab your lashes, grab your brushes, and get on back here. Let's go.
A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Voices at 8, can't wait.
All right. So if you have been with me any length of time, you know that our foundation Bible verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. I actually heard the pastor, I think it was like 2 Sundays ago, preach and kind of interject this verse in the sermon. And I was like, hey, I know that verse. I can say it with you. And all of our verses for season 3 are going to be coming from Color Me James. That's available in 3 different formats. We've got the ebook version, which is available on my website and the least expensive. Just use a couple of apps to be able to make that happen, or print it out, your call. Then we have the paperback version, which is available on Amazon and also my website. And then we've got the spiral bound version, and that one is available at this moment in time on my website. Well, exclusively on my website. So couple of different choices for you. We are just going to be having our fun living with and working through the book of James. I say fun. Maybe that's not the right word, because let me tell you, James can pack a punch. You're going to get a little bit of spanking while you're going through it. But what James will do is teach you about how not just hearing the word, but doing the word. So we will continue to work through that together with Color Me James. Now, our Bible verse is work
not to judge. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose in these things, specializing in keeping 1 or 2 things in God's law and ignoring others. Love without measure, love without pride. Welcome the stranger, stand side by side. Not rich or poor, not outward finesse, but hearts full of Jesus, nothing less. That's the way he loves, holy and true. The royal rule, now it's up to you. The same God who said, don't commit adultery, also said don't murder. If you don't commit adultery but go ahead and murder, do you think your non-adultery will cancel out your murder? No, you're a murderer. Period. You can't pick and choose in these things, specializing in keeping 1 or 2 things in God's law and ignoring others.
All right. Well, I'll let you listen to the rest of that. And I am calling this particular episode 15B. Maybe it was just me. A lot of things happened last week, and I did not do a good job of effectively memorizing this section of verses. And I feel like they're super important. So, we're going to do this week a continuation and piggyback on what we learned and what we were memorizing from last week. So, this is like a part 2 of this verse. So, yes, if it seems like we've done James 2, 8 through 11, it's true. We have. We did it last week. But we're going to do it again this week because there is no point in rushing your way through. I mean, that isn't that what James is about? So there's no point in rushing her through. So we're going to continue on with James 2, 8 through 11, so we can really nail down and memorize this section of verses together. Now, as you heard that song, you heard I kind of dissected it a little bit with the lyrics. So it's not like 100% in order, which will either trip you up if you allow it, or it will help you memorize it more effectively. So I am hoping the more effectively thing. Let me get the music turned on because I just realized I'm talking in silence. Okay. All right. So here we go. There's a little something for us. Okay. So the verse that we're going to be working on is directly from the song. You do well when you... Here, let me see if I can get it up here. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose in these things, specialize in keeping one or two things in God's law and then ignoring the others. The same God who said, do not commit adultery, also said, do not commit murder. If you don't commit adultery, but go ahead and murder, do you think that your non-adultery is going to cancel out your murder? No, you're a murderer, period. So we'll see how that plays in with our other verses in context. I love how everything's connected together and completes the thought. So when we get to the end of chapter 2, we'll have a reflection over chapter 2, and you can really put all these pieces together. I hope you're doing that as you're going along anyways. All right. So let me see. I don't think I'm going down. There we go. So today, like I said, we're going to be playing with the culture palette. This is the original, not the culture 2. So the regular culture palette. And we're going to be playing with, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5 colors from this one. So, and just a little bit of playing. It's not too crazy, just a little bit crazy. But I think you'll like it. And you can use any kind of combination of colors that you have. And feel free to use whatever palette you have. If you want the same look, but just make sure your palette or palettes have these same colors in it. So again, that is the culture palette. You can find a link to that on my website. Also in the show, well, eventually in the show notes that of the channel you're on right now, we'll have that in there as well. So make sure you check that out. All right. So we've got the verse scrolling across the bottom of our screen. Let us get going. So let me see. I'm going to get you all turned on in the chat because I see some conversation already. And I am not in there. There we go. Good morning. Okay. I'm going to pull this back just a little teeny. There we go. Okay. So professional primer. This is the matte primer. And we are going to, I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, man, it has been a day of adjustments, let me tell you. Okay, so we're just going to give, well, oh, I'm almost out of this. I need me another trip to Ulta Hall. Here we go. So we're going to use that much right there. We're going to work that between our fingers. And we're going to put that, for me, because I have combo skin with an oily T-zone, we're going to put that any place that you have fine lines, wrinkles, maybe you experience separation in your foundation, you know, where you can kind of see like little different, like your skin kind of coming through little cracks around the lips so that our lipstick will do better. I'm going to use it around the eyes because I got a little wrinkle happening around there. You know, you don't get a little bit older and not have that happen. Okay. So today I'm actually going to do it a little different order. I'm going to start with the eye primer. This is the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime. This is the shade 1. We are going to give this a little bit of a shake. Just make sure it's mixed up good because I don't think I used it last week. Okay, so this does not take very much. So we're just going to put a little bit, like that much right there. Little in the center there, little in the center there. And then we're just going to use the tip of our middle finger or ring finger to just blend that out. And that is going to help our color to be more vivid, more true, and it will help your eyeshadow to last better. Especially if you're using matte shadows, this will help with that. Okay, so now that we've got that on there, let's go to our regular concealer. This is the It Cosmetics by Under Eye. I am the shade 11 Light Nude. You want your concealer to be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation. If you do not know what you're doing, don't even worry about it. We all start somewhere. Get to your nearest Ulta or Sephora and have them do a shade match. You can, if they carry your foundation, that makes it easier. If they don't, bring your foundation with you so that they can help you do that shade match. So we're going to put that any place, concealer, any place where you've got redness, darkness, maybe you've got some hyperpigmentation. I got some darkness in here in the corners. I got some darkness under the eye. I don't like the redness there. And then we're going to blend that out on the top of the cheek where I got redness happening too. So we're just going to let that set for a second. Not all concealers are this way, but this one does better if you let it set for just a second on your skin so it warms up. It will blend out better, more smooth, and you will definitely get a better blend out from that. How did I get that all over my counter? I don't know. I am using a beauty blender. This is Real Techniques. Let me scroll down and I can tell you the name of it. Miracle Air Blend Sponge. Okay, let me just keep that over there. We're going to use this pointy tip here. I'm going to get that right there in that corner and then under the eye as well. And then we're just going to blend that out onto the top of the cheek and get rid of that redness. Inside corner. Still using that pointy tip. And then we're just going to blend that out. Blend that out up here. Got redness here, so we're going to cancel that out. I don't know why my nose is always just a little tiny bit red. Anybody else's nose red? Mine's always just a little bit. So we're going to do that right under the eye there. And that concludes our primering. I'm going to use the Lancome Tinty Doll Foundation today. I am the shade 225 in. If you need a good professional shade match, make sure you get over to your nearest Ulta. Let them know, what your expectations are. Do you want it lighter in your skin, darker than your skin, same color as your skin? What is it that you're looking for? And let them give you a help out with that. And here we go. Let's see. 1 pump. There we go. And we're just going to kind of dot that. This one does not dry down like super fast or anything like that. So you can just tap that all over. And then we're just going to blend that out. Going to make sure we go over the edges of those lips a little. Get around that nose. Blend that out on that chin. And we're going to make sure that we get that up here on the forehead. I feel like I need just a little tiny, tiny pump right there. And we're going to blend that up into the hairline. Man, y'all are quiet today. Nobody giving me shout outs. Where are you coming from? Because I've got so many channels at one time, I cannot see who's on. But if you chat, then I can see you. So give me a shout out. Let me know where you're coming from. There we go. So we've got a nice even color that we can play with. The thing I like about the edge on this beauty blender is, especially under the eye, you can just use that kind of, I don't want to say pointy edge, but whatever it's called, angular edge, to really get into like right under here where your under eye wrinkles might be. There we go. It just really helps to blend that out before you go setting that with your powder. So we're gonna set that beauty blender aside, and I'm using a different powder this week. I am using the Laura Mercier, and this is the Rose Translucent Ultra Blur Setting Powder. I've been using that for a couple of days. just wanted to give it a go and see how brightening it actually was. Mainly due to, sadly, my Juvia's Place. I used all of it. So I am going to be using that Juvia's Place Beauty Blender, though. I love the pointy tip on this and then the wide end down here. So we're going to take that pointy end of that Beauty Blender. We're just going to set it in there. We're going to tap it off. We're going to go under the eyes, in the corner. Kind of leading with that middle finger because it's not so strong. I'm going to get right up under the eye with that. And then I'm going to flip that sponge around and use the wide end. And we'll do the same thing. We'll set it in. We'll tap it off. Press it down. And then make sure you get under that jawline as well. Set that blend out. We're going to set it in there one more time. Get your cheek. Another time. Tap it off. Other cheek. And for the final time, set it in, tap it off, and let's get the forehead. I do like the way that the Laura Mercier sets, and I think this one may have talc in it. I can't remember if this one's talc free or not. But I really like the consistency, the texture, the way it sets. It's not technically an oil controlling powder, but it does a good job of not agitating it either. So I don't know. In my mind, with my combo skin, I would say to a certain degree, it does have some oil controlling properties. All right. So we are going to finish with that. And now that our face is all ready to go, let's get some contouring done. So we are going to be using today, going back to the KVD Light Refillable Contour Palette. Still on the hunt for refillers. So you're going to notice it's a little worked out here. We're going to stay on this end here. And then we're going to tap this one just a little bit for the outside corners. So I'm going to grab a dual-ended, well, maybe... I'm going to grab, there we go, a dual-ended, technically a foundation brush, but we're going to use this for our contouring because I love the way it performs. So we're going to use this end here for the dark, the low, and then we're going to use this end here for the light, the high. So starting here on the flat side, we're just going to get that in here right there like that. We're going to go from the top of the ear in a curved motion headed towards the corner of the eye, staying above the hollow of the cheek. And then just work that right up beside that hairline. There you go. And now we have the illusion that I have more hollow in my cheek than I actually do. So same thing on the other side. There you go. Now I'm just going to take the tip of that and I'm going to tap it in this really dark one. And I'm just going to go right here on the outside and just give like an L right here. Just a little bit. Oh, you know what? I did not do beside my nose. That's just going to slender that nose a little bit. And then we're going to tip that there. And then we're going to take the light end. We're going to go in that light. We're going to go the top of the cheek and right next to the eye socket. It's just going to give you a little lift there. Then we're going to do that same thing and put it right down the center of the face, making sure we hit that tip good. And then we're going to go here and make sure we get that Cupid's bow. All right. So that is that. Now you're going to grab your blush brush. This one is a MAC, something I can't read the number anymore. Just a general all-purpose blush brush. I know like Morphe, their brushes actually tell you some indicators of, angle blush or whatever. This one's just a traditional, no angle to it or anything. So I am going to be In my Juvia's Place Volume 4, you'll be happy to know I finally whipped out my new one. That other one was sad here. Okay, and we're going to be hanging out in this one. We got a lot of colors going to be happening, and so we're going to bring our cheek down just a little bit with this one. So I'm going to take that brush and just come straight at it. We're going to go between the bronzer and the highlighter, and between the bronzer and the highlighter. These are pretty pigmented, so make sure that you do that gently. I'm going to just give a couple swipes, and we'll get right up in here in the hairline. And whatever's left on that, you can do the tip of the nose there. I feel like I'm going to do just a little bit more over here. Maybe because it's new. There we go. So that what word was that? That completes our highlighting for today. So we are going to go ahead and say our verse together, and then we shall press on with our lips today. So we are waiting for that to roll around. I hope that you had a great week last week, and I hope that you did better with your verse memorizing than I did. So if you, give a shout out for yourself. If you did great with that verse and you've got that memorized, you've got that verse nailed, give a shout out. Oh, congratulations to yourself in the chat. Let me hear how it is going for you. Okay, that verse is going to roll around any second now. Okay, there we go. Okay, here it comes. I'm going to wait till it gets to about the middle of the screen. Here we go. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose in these two things, specializing in keeping one or the other, and keeping one or two things in God's law and ignoring others. The same God that said, don't commit adultery, also said, don't commit a murder. If you don't commit adultery, but you go ahead and commit murder, do you think that your non-adultery is going to cancel out your murder? No, you're a murderer, period. All right. So I don't know. I imagine how how he said it in his head when I say it. Also, once you hear the song, you'll kind of know some of that inflection too. Okay, so we're going to be playing with the NYX. This is a retractable lip liner. This one's waterproof. What is the shade name here? Oh, Hot Pink. Okay, so we're just going to twist that up a little bit. Love this because it's mechanical. You don't got to sharpen it. We're going to start out in that Cupid's bow. Just give yourself a nice V there so we got something to work with, and then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. And same thing on the other side. And you are staying like just a little bit to the outside of your lip line. Grab a little extra real estate. We're going to do it right here in the center. Give ourselves a point of reference. Again, just to the outside of your lip line. And now round that out to the outside corner. Okay, take a little bit of a step back. Make sure your lips are lined evenly. And today's lipstick pretty much matches this color, so I don't need to do an extra blending line because they're about the same color. And what color is that, Wendy? This is Max. What's it called? Candy Yum Yum. Okay, so we're going to start out here in the Cupid's bow. Just work that right up and around that liner. We're just letting that liner give us a nice clean edge. Also, that liner wears so well, so it's going to extend the wearability of your lipstick as well. Okay. So now we have a nice, I feel like we might need a little bit of shimmer on that here in a minute, but right now we got some nice candy yum yum lips going on. So what are we going to do now? We are going to start playing with our culture palette. So this is the culture palette, and I may not get all these names right, so we're going to be looking at our cheat sheet here. Okay, so I am good. I should show you the back of my hand. When I prep for this, like a couple days before, I literally make a couple of eyes on the back of my hand and do this for you so that I can do it a couple of different ways and see what the best way is. I only got 2 eyes, so I can only do that 2 times. But anyways, the life of makeup artistry. Okay, so back to what we're doing here. Culture palette. So we are going to start out in, where's it at? Okay, we're going to start out in the Afro beats right here. And then we're going to move to Bono right here. And then we're going to move to Wolof, which is this nice purpley shimmery color right here. We're going to play a little bit in Kobo right here. Then we're going to add a little Delta right there. And then a little, I think it's called Eif right here. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And at the very end, we're going to add just a smidge of this Juvia's Place. What is the actual name of it? I think this is the duochrome liquid shadow from, I think it's the Culture 2. Anyways, this one is the Fula. So we're going to do that just a little bit on the inside corner. I don't know. I may put that on my lips. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so to start out with, we've got a little bit of color already happening from the primer. So we're just going to leave that alone. So I'm going to put just a little of the Eif right here. We're just going to do that tip and not all the way up to the brow bone, but just right under that. We're just going to give a little bit of that right here. Just one brush stroke wide and get it up there pretty close. Just not all the way. Okay, there we go. And we're just giving that a little bit right there, just so we got something to blend into when we get there. Okay, so we're going to set that brush aside. And then here, there we go. Okay, I'm going to grab an all over, well, hold on. Let's do this one here. I'm going to grab this right here. This is a blending brush. This one is the Morphe M124. And we're going to start out in the Afro beats right here. So just one side. We're going to go on the inside corner. And we're just going to put that Afro beats right there. And we're going to go about halfway. Isn't that a beautiful color? Same thing on the other side. Now, the thing I like about this brush, because the bristles are a little bit more firm, you can just really get a nice clean line with that. So that's what we've got so far. Now, before we get into that Bono color, we're going to do a little something, and then we're going to play with that. So I'm going to take a Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Roxy. We're going to take that. We're going to line halfway into that color we just did. And then we're going to take it And we're going to do a nice clean line up here. Well, I'm not sure about that clean part because that was kind of messy, but there you go. Don't worry about it. We got this. I did sharpen that pencil, but let me do that one more time. Here we go. Much better on this side. And then we're going to come across. We're going to go about halfway. And we're just going to kind of fill in that corner just a little bit. Okay. Now that we've got that there, I'm going to grab a, let's actually do so many brushes. Okay. I'm going to start out with this right here, which is a Morphe M321. Just a nice smudger, a little bit on the wider side. We're going to go into that Bono right here. We're just going to get it on the tip there. We're going to go right here on that outside corner and just bring that color in. And then we're going to stay to the top side and just go right where we just put that line of color. There you go. See how that blended out? And then we're going to bring it in and meet that lighter color. Fallout galore. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Outside corner to that middle. Bring that in. Let it meet that lighter color. And then right to the top side of that liner that you put on there. And then Fallout. All right. So let's see, where'd my colors go? There we go. So that is the Bono. Now we're going to go into the Wolof. So we need, let me do an angled, there we go. I'm going to do an angled shadow brush here because we just need like a little teeny. So we're going to grab the Wolof right here. We're just going to get it on the face of that. And we're just going to go right to the outside edge of that on the top. There you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the brush that we were using. I'm just going to come back and make sure that I've got some of that blue nicely showing through. Okay. Then our next color is going to be the Kobo. So we got this nice pink color right here. We're just going to grab a general purpose shadow brush. I'm just going to get it on the face of it just like we've been doing because we just need like a little hint of it. And I'm going to turn it the skinny way and follow right along that, just to the outside line of that purple that we just put on there. Just a little bit. And I'm not even going to change brushes. I'm going to go into the Delta right here. I'm just going to get it right on that tip. I'm going to go right to the top side of what we just did. You just give it a little hint of color. There you go. And then our final color is going to be the eye here. So we're going to go back to the brush that we started with. We're going to just tap that in there and just blend that out a little bit. And now just take a look at what you got and see if there's anything that you need to kind of blend to have show up just a little bit better. Nice. Okay, now we want to bring that around and have that come under our eye just a little bit. So I'm just going to grab a smudger, and we're just going to use the same one for everything. We're going to start with the darker color and work our way to the lighter color. So we're going to start out with that Bono right there. We're getting it just on the tip. We're going to go to the outside here. Come about halfway. And we're just making a nice thin line. And then we're going to blend that up and around the corner. And again, up and around the corner. And we're just going to kind of tap that off a little bit. I'm going to come into this Wolof here, right there. There we go, just on that tip. And we're going to go just below that blue and then past it just a little bit here. There we go. We just need a little hint of it. And then we're going to take, let's do, I'm going to say a tad bit of the Delta, because we're going to color some of this over here in just a second with that inner corner. So let's just get a little bit of that Delta right here. Okay, then we're going to get rid of any fallout. All right, so that is the bulk of the coloring that we're going to be using. I am going to go ahead and let me grab that very first brush. We're just going to clean up that first color, the Afro beads. So I'm just going to set it down in there, and we're just going to tap it, make sure that's still nice and clean. So I'm just pressing it where that blue and it meet, just sort of tapping it there, letting it blend together just a little bit. So now we've got that nice color blending in. We've got that nice under the eye color happening. So let's go ahead and take the blue liner that we were using, the Roxy, and we're going to line our lower lid with that. So right on that water line. And then make sure you blend it into that lash line to blend with the blue that we put there on the bottom. And these Urban Decay colors are waterproof, so this will hang nicely onto your waterline. There we go. I'm just going to touch the outside corner there, bring that color in just a little bit, add a little more intensity, that blue. So that is what we got going on today. What you think? I like. I think it does nicely with the pink looks that we're doing. So what do we still need to do? we are going to add a liquid liner, and then we're going to add that little touch of shimmer on the inside corner. So I'm going to grab my Too Faced Better Than Sex liner, but first I'm going to tap the corner of my eye, which are watering just a smidge. This is a waterproof as well. Once it dries down, it is not going to go anywhere, but you don't want to get it wet while you're still working on it. So I'm going to go from the outside edge here all the way to the inside edge. We're just doing a nice thin line for our lash. Now, I believe I see a question in the chat, so let me do this. Oh, a spammer. Okay, there we go. Inside corner. Outside corner. Okay. We're just gonna fan that. I keep saying, you know, I have been to Five Below so many times and I've seen those little fan things and I haven't bought one yet. Eventually I'll get over there to do that. I'm always on the hunt for something else when I go there. Okay, so what are we gonna play with now? Let us grab that liquid shadow and we're gonna grab a, well, let me find it. There we go. This is a Velvet Line 326. You just are going to need a very tiny fine line. And this is the Fula from their Duochrome, from Juvia's Place Duochrome collection. So we're just going to uncap that. We're going to get a little bit right there on that tip. And we're going to put it right here on the inside. Just like that. Just going to brighten and lift up that inside corner just a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay, now I told you I thought maybe I would do a little... Here, let me tap that off my brush first. I told you I thought maybe I'd add a little bit of that to my lips. So let's just see how that might work. I may regret this. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to let it get some product on there. There we go. I'm just going to take my finger, get it on there. Yes. Let me get some on the other side. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That was a good decision. I wasn't sure, but there we go. I love that. It really kind of sets off and makes the eyes blend with the lips. Okay, so now we are to the place where we need to do our brows. So whatever your preferred brow product is, you're going to go ahead and grab that. And that was almost the wrong Bad Gal Bang. Okay, so we're going to grab, I'm using the Bad Gal Bang in Wild Plum. You can tell I'm starting to grow off here and get a little bit faded. Getting ready for a new fun hair color. I have got to do some bleaching out, go get the cut, and then I can put that color on. I'm hoping maybe to get that done this weekend. So I will be sure to put some pictures on social media so you can take a look. Oh my goodness, it's going to be fun. Okay, here we go. So Wild Plum. Or whatever I need to actually find a brow product because that is going to be a very hot pink, and I did not do that yet. Okay, there's that side. Here we go. If you're using a mascara as a brow product, You literally just have to kind of hover the hairs a little bit. I try not to touch my skin. I mean, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you have to let it touch your skin to fill in a little bit. But the beauty of a mascara is it holds your brows in place. You don't need a brow setter. It is the brow setter. It's the color and the brow setter for you. So kind of cool. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. I am just really in love with this color. There we go. Take a look at that again. Okay, so last week I tried, well, you know what? Let's put our mascara on and then we'll go into that discussion. Okay, so go ahead and grab your lash curler. Doop, doop, doop. And we are going to curl just a little bit, add a little bit of mascara, and then put our lashes on. So go ahead and grab your lash curler. Get that in place. Pull it out just a little bit so that when you crimp it, it is not going to pinch. There we go. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. That's enough for what we're doing here. So we're just going to give ourselves like one coat. We're just trying to make sure ours are black for blending in with the lashes. If your lashes are black, you may be able to bypass this altogether. But I will tell you that you get a little more volume if you put mascara on your lashes as well. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Here we go. Finding that sweet spot. Put it down, pull it out, crimp it. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're going to have the same part of the verse to say. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. There we go. I know some of these scripture passages are just like, wow, super convicting. Especially the one we had at the end of chapter 1, talking about when people come into a church and one is dressed nicely and one is not. And you take the nicely dressed person to the front of the church and say, here is the best seat in the house. And then you go to the poor dressed person and you say, why don't you sit here in the back? I know at one point or another, we all have done that to some degree in some situation. And so James, definitely a convicting part, a particularly convicting part of the Bible as we work out the word. Okay, so now we're going to put mascara on the bottom lashes because no false lashes there. So that's just going to get your regular mascara coating. And I had someone ask me the other day, why is it that you don't put your bottom lash mascara on after you finish your top lashes? And part of it's probably habit and the way that I've always done it. And the other half is probably once you get your lashes on there, they're like la 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 la, all kind of in the space there. And I just don't like, mucking more. So I like the lash to be the last thing. Okay, so we're going to do the bottom lashes on the other side now. And we are brushing back under the tips of those lashes so we get the best coverage possible and so that they have a nice strong end to them. This is a new tube of mascara. Don't you just love new mascara? It just goes on so nice and smoothly. Okay. Just let those kind of dry a little bit. And my eye is still watering, so we're just going to tap that. If when you were close up with your magnifying mirror, you noticed any fallout, you can go ahead and brush that away again. Another thing that you could do is take your pointy pad that you used and just kind of tap that along there. And that'll clean it up too. You don't really need to put any more on it. What's on there usually is enough to, clear out if you have anything. Okay, so back to our lashes. So last week, I demoed this lash and line from Allure. What did I like about it? I loved the shape of the lash. I loved the way that the lash band felt. It was very comfortable, and I liked that. I liked the shape of the lash. Okay, my lashes evidently... Okay, my lashes are in the box. Okay, that's a little crazy. Okay, so loved a lot of things about him. What did I not like about him? Because I feel like there's a butt fixing to come. And that is true. What I did not like about it was the actual liner adhesive thing itself. So while it lined well, it went on nice and smooth, gave a nice crisp, clean line. It literally did not last at all. I put it on around 9 o'clock, and by lunchtime, the lashes were already falling off my face, like literally falling off. So, I'm going to try the lashes this time. And I'm going to use my regular Allure 18-hour lash adhesive because I did not like that lash adhesive. So these have only been worn once. So I'm going to take both ends and I'm just going to kind of go like this. Make sure we got that band nice and soft up. And then we're going to grab the other lash and we're going to do the same thing. Minus that. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Grab both ends. Just soften that band up. And then we're going to take that lash, we're going to hold it in the middle, and we're going to apply adhesive just like we always do. Because I really just didn't like that. So it's going to go on the top line of that band. Okay, maybe I need to give this a shake. There we go. So top line of that band, and then also just on the back side of that. We're going to just make sure we give it the best chance to stay put, and we're going to pay special attention to the outside corners. This is a clear adhesive, so when it goes on, it's going to go on white, and then when it dries down, it's going to dry down clear. So we're going to do both lashes. Adhesive on the top of that band. These have a really thin, I think maybe one reason why these are so comfortable is because it is not, so the monofilaments, the ones that have the clear, they are, man, sometimes they're stiff and a little rough. They're kind of pokey. But because this one is not that, or I assume that's what it is, it's a lot softer of a band, but it's really thin like what the monofilaments are. So I was super happy with the way they felt until they fell off. But I just did not like, being at work and having my lash fall off my face while I'm talking to a coworker. Okay, so we're going to go here. I'm going to set that, make sure these are flared. So the skinny end goes on the inside, wide end outside. We're just going to set that down right there in the middle. Right on that eyeliner line that we did. I'm going to set it down over here. There we go. And then we're going to walk it around to that outside edge and set it down over here. We're just going to make sure that everything is happy and cohabitating in that same space. We're going to take the tip, work in our lashes, into those lashes. And they go on, I don't know, maybe it's the shape of these, but these just go on super easy. I was very disappointed and honestly kind of surprised that they did not stay put, because they literally, it almost felt like a magnetic lash when I put them on last week. So again, grabbing that in the middle, we're just going to set that down. Do the inside corner. And then the outside corner. And then I'm just going to press these together. Make sure they're in the same space together. Take my tip. I feel like this needs to come down just a little smidgy. There we go. and work those lashes into it. There we go. Okay. And there you go. We have got those lashes set. Oh my goodness. I will really be happy. My eyes will stop watering. Okay. So what do we have left to do? What do we have left to do? We have a little bit of shimmer that we're going to put on. So I'm going to grab my Anastasia highlighter brush. I'm going to grab my Heroine by Juvia's Place. Just a nice kind of light rose gold kind of color. We're just going to swoosh that around, hit the top of the cheek there, right there beside the eye socket, right here, right down the center of the face. We're going to make sure we hit the tip of that nose nice. There we go. And now that we have done all this beautiful work, we got all these gorgeous colors, we want to make sure that it stays put all day long. We don't have to mess with it. So I'm going to grab my Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give that a little bit of a shake. Let's give that a spray down. Man, that smells so good. Okay. And now we are set for all day. Our makeup should be good to go. Which is your favorite color? This palette is just magnificent. I love these colors, and it really goes well with my shirt today. So I don't know if you're like me, but I love to have the colors match. Well, not match 100%, but complement the clothes that I am going to be wearing. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week on social media and on my website, A Little Bit of Makeup and a Whole Lot of Jesus. So let's go ahead and take a look at our verses. Let's do a little bit of memory. If you're new, or maybe you don't have them memorized, no worries. And definitely no pressure and no condemnation coming from me or anybody else in this group. Let's just read the verse together and press on. Okay. I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello. And yes, you should be saying this out loud. Okay. Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work. So that you may become mature, well-developed, not deficient in any way. When you don't know what to do, ask the Father. He loves to help, and you won't be condescended to when asking for it. People who worry their prayers are like wind-whipped waves. Don't think you're going to get anything from the Master that way. Adrift at sea, keeping all your options open. When down and outers get a break, cheer. And when the arrogant and rich are cut, I'm going to get a little thing because I can't see. And when the arrogant and rich are cut down to size, cheer. Prosperity is as short-lived as a wildflower, so don't ever count it. You know that as soon as the sun rises, pouring down its scorching heat, the flower withers, the petals wilt, and before you know it, that beautiful face is a barren stem. And you better believe I'm singing that song in my head. Well, that's a picture of the prosperous life. At the very moment that everyone is looking on in admiration, it fades away to nothing. Anyone who meets a testing challenge head on and manages to stick it out is mighty fortunate. For such persons loyally in love with God, the result is life and more life. Don't let anyone under pressure give... It's hard to say this one without singing it. Don't let anyone under pressure give in to evil say, God is trying to trip me up. God is impervious to evil and puts evil in no one's way. The temptation to give in to sin comes from us and only us. We have no one to blame but the leering, seducing temptation of our own sin. Sin gets pregnant and has a baby, sin. Sin grows up to adulthood and becomes a real killer. So, my very dear friends, don't get thrown off course. Some weird. Every desirable and perfect gift comes from the Father of light. Every desirable and beneficial gift comes out of heaven. The gifts are rivers of light flowing down from the Father of light. There is nothing deceitful in God, nothing two-faced, nothing fickle. He brought us to life, showing us the true word, showing us off as the crown of all his creatures. Okay, post this all the dinner sections, dear friends. Lead with your ears, follow up with your tongue, and let anger straggle along in the rear. God's righteousness doesn't grow from human anger, so throw away all spoiled virtue and cancerous evil in the garbage. Is it garbage or trash? Cancerous evil in the garbage. Yes, in simple humility, our gardener God, let him landscape you with the word, making you a salvation garden of your life. Okay, I may have got a couple words a little messed up there, but we got it. Okay, so don't fool yourself into thinking that you are... hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, don't fool yourself into thinking that you are a listener when you are anything but. Letting the word go in one ear and come out the other. Act on what you hear. Those who glance in the mirror and walk away and 2 minutes later have no idea who they are, or don't be like those who glance in the mirror, walk away, and 2 minutes later don't remember what they look like. Okay, but whoever catches a glimpse of the revealed counsel of God, the free life, even out of the corner of his eye, and sticks with it, is no distracted scatterbrain, but a man or woman of action. That person will find delight and affirmation in the action. Anyone who sets himself up as religious is talking a good game and is self-deceived. The kind of religion is hot air and only hot air. Real religion, the kind that... okay, I have to take a peek. Passes muster before God, the Father, is this: reach out to the homeless, the loveless, in their plight, and guard against corruption of the godless world. There we go. Okay, now this one I'm definitely going to need a little bit of help on. So, my dear friends, is this the right one? Yes, okay. My dear friends, don't let public opinion influence how you live out your glorious Christ-originated faith. If a man, this is the one I was talking about a minute ago. If a man enters your church wearing an expensive suit and a street person comes in wearing rags, or a street person comes in right after him, and you say to the man in the suit, "Sit here, sir. This is the best seat in the house," and either ignore the street person or say, "You better sit here in the back row," haven't you segregated God's children and proved that you are judges who cannot be trusted? Okay. Cannot be trusted. Okay. Listen, dear friends. Isn't it clear by now that God operates differently? And I am peeking on this one. He chose the world down and out as the kingdom's first citizens with full rights and privileges. The kingdom is promised to anyone who loves God. And here you are abusing these same citizens. Isn't it the high and mighty who exploit you, who use the courts to rob you blind? Aren't they the ones who scorn the name Christian used in your baptisms? And then we have the verse that we're working on again for this week. And I've already confessed that I did not do a good job memorizing this one. So completely peeking on this one. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and you stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose in these things, specializing in one or two things in God's law and then ignoring the others. The same God who said, "Do not commit adultery," also said, "Do not murder," or don't murder. If you don't commit adultery, but you go ahead and murder, do you think your non-adultery is going to cover up or will cancel out your murder? No, you are a murderer, period. All right. So, that was a little rough from me, but there we go. We are working it. We are living it out, and we are studying our way through it. So, Color Me James, again, 3 formats. We got the ebook, which is a PDF. You can use that on your tablet or your iPhone or whatever, Android, whatever. It's just a PDF. And then we've got the paperback. I'm losing my words here. The paperback version that's available on Amazon, and the spiral bound that you can get from me on A Little Bit of Makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. So, Beauty and Grace Insider gives you that ebook for free. So, if you want your best bang for the buck, Beauty and Grace Insider, that's going to be the Cherished Queen level. That is going to get you that ebook for free with that level. That is available on YouTube. That is through their membership program. So youtube.com and then at Little Makeup, Lot of Jesus /join. So just go to my YouTube channel, and then at the end of the URL up in that address bar, hit /join, and you will be there. All right. So let me send you out with a blessing this week. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. The Lord be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each and every one of these women that have hung out with me here live, that maybe are watching this later on. Maybe they're on their favorite podcast platform. Father, I just pray a blessing on them this week as they go out, as we continue to study through the work of James, as we continue to explore and have fun with the colors of your creation on our faces. We play with our makeup. And thank you for making us women of God, Father, that we have the opportunity to finger paint every single day, because I so do love that. And I just pray that you would help us to be diligent about memorizing our verse this week. Forgive me that I was not so diligent last week. Father, for those who are in need, I pray that you would meet them where they are in their need, that you would just put a hedge of protection around them and send them out in grace and mercy and peace this week. Father, I just thank you for your scripture, for giving us these words so that we can know how to follow Jesus, how to be better in our real religion. Father, I just pray these things for all of these women in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. It has been a delight to hang out with you here today. I am so excited that you were here. Maybe not for the little guy that was doing the spamming thing, but there we go. I pray that you have an absolutely beautiful day, that your makeup turns out wonderful. Send me a picture of it, do a video. Let me see what you got in the comments of whatever platform you're on. I would love to celebrate your look with you. And who knows, you may have discovered a palette that I don't know about yet. I might like that. All right. So you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Mwah! I love you.